And you say you don't think it's written like that. You're saying my observation in this regard, as indicated above, is that further existence of this team is no longer required, nor is it adding any value to policing in South Africa. And then the question is, do you still stand by that?
The answer is yes. But when he pursued me, I then tried to elaborate. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. You must have seen that viral clip from Parliament where Police Minister Senzo Mchunu found himself backed into a corner by CIC Julius Malema. What started as a routine committee session turned into one of the most uncomfortable exchanges we've seen in recent months. Let's unpack what really happened, what it means, and why it's causing such a stir across the country. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments, because this one is loaded with lessons about power, pride, and political memory. During the latest Ad Hoc Committee hearing, Senzo Mchunu was expected to account for the internal dysfunction in his department. Already under pressure after failing to produce an audio recording he claimed contained a threat from KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nlanhla Mkhwanazi, Mchunu needed a calm, problem-free session. But instead, he walked straight into a political trap of his own making. In his written submission to Parliament, Mchunu stated clearly that the further existence of the PKTT is no longer required, nor is it adding value to policing in South Africa. The PKTT, or Policing Key Task Team, was a coordination structure meant to improve communication within the police service. But it had become controversial, accused of duplication and inefficiency. By recommending its disbandment, Mchunu was effectively admitting that one of his ministry's own initiatives had failed. When asked to confirm that statement, Mchunu tried to wriggle out. He said, "It's not written like that." For a second, the room fell quiet. That's when Julius Malema stepped in, calm, precise, and visibly ready for this moment. He picked up the report and read Mchunu's words out loud, exactly as they appeared. Then, with an almost surgical calm, he asked, "Do you still stand by that?" What followed was one of those parliamentary silences that feel much longer than they are. Mchunu, visibly uncomfortable, hesitated before finally saying, "The answer is yes." It was short, but it was enough. The room reacted with restrained disbelief. You could almost feel the collective embarrassment. Now, what might seem like a minor disagreement over wording actually reveals much more about how government operates, and how ministers handle accountability. Mchunu's attempt to deny his own statement reflected a deeper habit of political defensiveness. Instead of owning up to his words, he tried to soften them, as if the written record could be blurred by verbal denial. But Malema's intervention made sure that couldn't happen. This moment mattered because it wasn't just about one minister's discomfort. It was a reflection of how the ANC's senior officials are struggling to defend themselves under the scrutiny of a new, more aggressive parliament. Gone are the days when ministers could glide through committee meetings with vague answers. With opposition figures like Malema, every line is fair game. Senzo Mchunu was once respected for his discipline and administrative focus. As a former premier of KwaZulu-Natal and a trusted ANC leader, he was seen as one of the party's cleaner faces. But lately, that image has been crumbling. His conflict with Mkhwanazi, the missing recording, and now this embarrassing scene in Parliament, all of it adds to the growing perception of a man losing control of his own narrative. The PKTT controversy itself tells a bigger story about the crisis within South Africa's policing system. The service has long been plagued by overlapping structures and endless committees that create more confusion than solutions. While crime continues to rise, with violent attacks, kidnappings, and extortion becoming routine, the leadership at the top seems more preoccupied with internal politics than real reform. Mchunu's written report appeared to acknowledge this failure. But when faced with public questioning, he retreated, as if afraid to confront his own honesty. Malema, on the other hand, seized the moment perfectly. He didn't have to shout or mock. He simply allowed the minister to contradict himself, then used the written record to draw the truth back out. It was a masterclass in parliamentary strategy, and a reminder that opposition politics, when sharp and informed, can be far more powerful than theatrics. What makes the clip even more striking is how it has been received outside Parliament. On social media, many South Africans saw it as symbolic, a small but telling moment showing how some leaders say one thing in official documents and another when questioned. Others found humor in it, calling it Mchunu's truth test. But beneath the jokes lies a serious issue, the credibility of those meant to lead the fight against crime. Inside the ANC, whispers have grown louder about whether Mchunu's position is still tenable. He is on special leave, but if he returns, he'll be walking into a ministry whose morale is already low. Police officers on the ground are frustrated, communities are fearful, and now their political head has been publicly exposed as inconsistent. For a government trying to rebuild public trust, this kind of incident is the last thing it needs. It's also worth remembering that Mchunu is not alone. Over the past few years, several ANC ministers have been embarrassed in similar ways, caught off guard, contradicted by their own paperwork, or cornered by opposition MPs who simply did their homework. It's part of a broader pattern where the ruling party's once unquestioned confidence is being chipped away by a new era of accountability. For Malema, this moment reinforced his image as a fearless interrogator, the kind of politician who reads every line before a meeting and waits patiently for his target to trip. Whether you like him or not, his precision during this exchange was undeniable. And for viewers watching across the country, it reminded everyone that political memory can be a dangerous thing for those who try to rewrite their own words. So, what does all this mean for South Africa's broader political landscape? It means the age of comfortable politics is over. Ministers can no longer expect soft landings when they appear before Parliament. Every inconsistency, every omission, every line of their reports will be held up to scrutiny. And perhaps that's exactly what the country needs, not more speeches, but more truth. As for Senzo Mchunu, the coming weeks will tell whether he can recover from this blow or if this marks the beginning of the end for his tenure in the police ministry. Either way, his yes will echo far longer than he probably expected. So, what do you think? Was Malema out of line, or was he simply doing his job as an opposition leader? And what does this reveal about the state of leadership within the ANC? Share your thoughts in the comments, we read every one of them. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into South Africa's most talked about political stories. Until next time, stay informed, stay sharp, and remember, in South African politics, the truth always finds its way out. See you next time.